very proud to be Canadian because of you, because as a child born in the 80s, growing up in the 90s, the whole world only knew a couple of Canadian exports, besides the beer, of course, but as a child. We had Celine Dion, the Bare Naked Ladies, and you, so, you know, thanks for raising the bar. My question for you is that after your amazing life and you're reading your amazing book that I read 3 times on a trip to Japan because the trip was 9 hours long, each come there and back. Plenty of time to read an amazing book. If you haven't read it yet, read it. Read it, Honor. Who do you want to play you in the story of your life? If they made a big movie, any actor in the world, who would you want to play you?
You know, I don't even know how to answer that. I don't even know an actor in my mind that reminds me of me, you know, but, you know, when my book first came out, I know that Brad Pitt's movie company was really interested, and they actually requested that I send them a copy of the book, which I did. But I never did hear back from them, but there was some thought that Brad Pitt might play me, which I thought, well, that's a compliment, I guess, but I don't know if Brad Pitt looks like me. But, you know, so I don't really know. That's a good question, but somebody out there can play it. I think I'm not too difficult to play. Maybe I'll get one of my kids to play me or something like
that. Okay, next question. Thank you very much.
That's my best friend in the world, by the way, and he completely forgot that we were in Montreal at Survivor Series 97, and we were heartbroken when that went down, by the way.
Let me ask you, did you know what was going on or no?
Well, we saw the loogie where we were, you know, sitting, so we knew something went wrong. So my question is, you know, you're such a great natural storyteller, and I just want to know, like, backstage, was there any, like, real trickster backstage in the locker room that, you know, some kind of funny stuff would happen before a match or something?
Oh, well, trickster. If you look up trickster in a wrestling book, you'll have a picture of my brother Owen there. He was the best gangster and trickster there ever was. I think that's what everybody loved about Owen, and they missed the most about Owen is the jokes that he played on everybody. And it never ended. I mean, I can remember Owen would call up someone like Lex Luger about 5 in the morning and tell them that it was time to check out, that the wrestlers had to check out of their rooms, and he would have an English accent, and he'd make a big stink about the maids had to get in there. And, you know, he'd come down the lobby about 11:30, 12 o'clock for the bus, like you're supposed to, and there's Lex sitting there with all his bags. He's been there since 5 in the morning. Just, you know, that was Owen, you know. Owen was another guy that would, he'd disguise his voice and call you up about 2 in the morning, right after you ate. You have to go meet big meal somewhere, and you get to your room and you're all tired. He would get on the phone and he would start to badger you about special bulk pizza deal for the wrestlers. They get free pizza after midnight or something like that. And Owen was smart enough to know that most wrestlers can't pass up something that's free, especially food, even if they just ate. And so it's like he starts selling them on the pizza. It's a beautiful pizza, and we make keep talking about it. And finally, it's like the wrestler would like concede, like, all right, send the pizza up here. And, I'm just going to go to bed. And then he would go, well, what toppings do you want? And then he would start going through all the toppings, and he'd usually have a pizza that he would read off of all these different toppings. And then when he'd get off the phone, he would say, okay, now it's like $1 for each topping. And so now there's a bill, your bill's like $23 just for that, and then the rest of it would go nuts. And he would pull these jokes on wrestlers, and he did it on me a few times. But most of us never knew it was him. I never knew it was him. I didn't know till Crush told me one time, talking somewhere, he's told me about Owen doing it to him. And then I realized, like, I don't know how many times that guy's phoned my room at 2 in the morning. But that's the beauty of Owen, is that you didn't know for sure, but he always got you. I mean, I can remember riding with Owen, and we'd be I'd be outside pumping gas in the rental car, and Owen would go in, and I don't know what he would say to the guy. That he'd get in the car, and I'd go in to pay the gas, And then I just had such a hard time with the guy. I almost get in an argument with him, and you know, I go back out to the car and I drive off and I go, I don't know what that guy's problem was. He gave me really a hard time. And then you see Owen starting to smirk and laugh. It's like, I still would never know what he said, but it's like he would set you up that when you walk in, all of a sudden you got a problem with somebody that he was just an amazing practical joker.
You're the best, Bret. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Next.